November 2023. This seemingly random Reddit post goes viral. Nothing special at first glance, yet people are freaking out. It's a Google Street snapshot of a tire repair shop in São Paulo. But here's the thing, it was captured 12 years earlier. Pay attention to the man in the background. He's the reason why the post went viral. Because 12 years later, he stood at the center of Madison Square Garden, still a mystery to millions of fans who could only speculate about him.
He never really gave us an explanation who he was.
Everybody knows he's working with some shamans.
Doing these rituals before the fight, everybody can feel that.
Apparently, the only thing he said was
Shama.
Yeah, he's got the scariest walkout of all time.
The year is 2004. In the favela of São Paulo, a family mourns the loss of a son. He leaves behind 6 brothers and sisters.
Poucas pessoas sabem da história, né? Mas morreu com 18 anos, né?
That would mark the beginning of an impossible climb to the world's greatest heights.
What advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Do it all again.
The year is 1995.
The place where I grew up was in a rough neighborhood in São Paulo. It was a very poor place, where there was no hope of a much better future. Most people live below the poverty line, often in improvised wooden shacks. We are 7 children. We were 7 children. My father was a bricklayer. He would save up some money or bring home some construction material he would get at his job to build our house bit by bit, but the family was too big. We were 9 people living here. My mother was a housewife. She was always trying to do what was best for her children, but raising 7 kids is difficult, especially in the bad place we used to live. I used to fight a lot at school or in the streets.
But Alex would never fight on his own.
My brother and I were close when we were kids, like my 2 sons are today. We'd go everywhere, do everything together. We got into a bunch of fights. We were a massive handful. I'm not into studying. It's very difficult for me. Even my Portuguese is bad.
So Alex got a job quite young.
I was 12 when I started working at the tire shop. It was a big responsibility for a young boy, and my life changed completely. I would stay here all day long. I would come here at 7 or 8 a.m. until like 7 or 8 p.m. And that took a toll on my body.
He was strong, a jack of all trades. He was my best employee.
When I started working, I would always save some money to help out my mom. I would never spend that money. That was for her to help pay living costs.
His brother, however, chose a different path.
When I was 15 and he was 16, we started drifting apart because I was working full-time and he was dealing. So we drifted apart.
But things at the tire shop would still take a dark turn.
Working at the repair shop was nice, but you end up learning a few bad habits. In my case, that was drinking. I was in the midst of adults, flawed like anyone with addictions. And in that environment, I was introduced to some bad things like alcohol,